Hey everybody, welcome in for episode 27. And today, as many of you may know, that January is the start of weight loss season. People start trying to get their resolutions done. They claim they're going to start working out. They claim they're going to start getting healthier. And as you may or may not know, Dr. Whiting wrote a book a couple years ago called The Weight Management Revolution. It is free on Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and put a link down either below this video, depending on where it's at, or above this video where it's at. I'm going to put a link to that book, and you can download it for free, right?
Yeah, on Amazon.
Okay.
If you have Kindle on your phone or your laptop, then right now it's no charge.
No charge, yeah. And that's a great place to start. But today we're going to kind of break down January means that it's annual weight loss season, and Phoenix Nutritionals, our products, as many of you may or may not know, are in fitness clubs, wellness centers, physicians' offices, and gyms all over the world. Every year, millions of people take up the task of losing extra weight. But sadly, the vast majority fail. And we're going to discuss that. We're going to go in a deep dive into that. And this episode is strictly for the ones that are serious about weight loss. If you're just kind of on the fence, go ahead and skip it. Keep scrolling. But if you're really serious and you attend one of the many fitness clubs, wellness centers, or gyms that carry our products, you're probably going to be hearing about this video.
Probably will.
So new year, new you. Before you start your weight loss journey, here it is. This could save you months of trial and error. Where do we start?
Well, weight management is scientific, or it should be.
It should be, yeah.
Unfortunately, every season new fads come out that have not been tested or tried.
Ozempic.
Then there are the drugs, but that's a
whole nother story.
That's a different story. I'm just waiting to see how many side effects develop from that over the next year. But basically where we want to start is we want to start by identifying how your body, not your friends, not your relatives, not your coworkers, but how your body deals with various types of foods. Once we have this information, it becomes much more scientific and much easier to design a weight program, a dietary program that will best suit your chemistry.
And so what would an outline be of the program? I guess we could start on various body types, calorie sensitive versus carb intolerant, so that the viewers and the people in the gyms, the wellness centers, and the fitness centers, how do they go about starting the various body types?
Well, it's not as complicated as one might think.
Yeah.
In fact, there are only 4 basic chemistries.
Yeah.
We have the carbohydrate intolerant. That's an individual who is hypersensitive to sugar-forming foods. We have the calorie-sensitive person who is hypersensitive to excessive calorie intake.
Yeah.
We have the combination program where those lucky devils have both problems. And then lastly, we have the insulin-resistant individuals, which include hypoglycemia, type 2 diabetes, and so forth.
Yeah, and I learned I was carb intolerant when I took your test, and then you helped me. That was back a bunch of years ago when I lost the 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And it was pretty clear cut. It's not, being carb intolerant, not fun in the beginning because of what you have to restrict. It's a little bit tough, but I got through it with some help of the blood sugar support, which makes the cravings a lot less, which we'll go into later. And we're going to see if you're making these common weight loss mistakes. That's what this video is about, just laying the foundation. You can find out how to fix them by just subscribing. You can comment also, because we're going to do a whole follow-up to this for our fitness centers, our wellness centers, and our gyms, to give them a little bit added help, just as a little refresher. We always like to do that this time of year especially. So there's so many reasons why people fail to achieve their weight loss goals. What would you say are the most common?
Well, first of all, they're not approaching it logically or scientifically. And the best way to do that is to go to our website and take our weight management evaluation.
Yeah, and that's on healthyinformation.com. And you can take the test for free.
Yep.
And then you can just call you up.
Call us up here, and then we'll have a much better idea of what we need to design for you. But there are many pitfalls.
Yeah.
In fact, we've identified the top 10, and I thought today we'd talk about a couple of them. First and foremost, one of the ones I hear about is boredom.
Yeah.
Now, why in the world would you have to be bored? I can't think of any weight management program, any diet, that says you have to eat the same 5 foods every day.
Yeah.
You can have whatever you want within those guidelines, within your program's guidelines.
Yeah.
And my book, The Weight Management Revolution, has hundreds of recipes for each one of the body types. And there's absolutely no reason why you have to be bored. Probably one of the biggest reasons is non-compliance.
Yeah.
People just bloody cheat.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, we'll get into that later today, goes back to psychology. Now, there are some physiological reasons. You mentioned food cravings,
Yeah.
which for the carbohydrate intolerant body type can be enormous.
Yeah.
They can be overwhelming. I have had people liken it, the cravings and addiction for carbs,
To drugs.
to be very similar to drugs, yeah. And so, obviously, if that's the reason why you're not compliant, because you just go half crazy and have to have ice cream and cookies and cake, science can come and help you as well, because we have a formula that greatly reduces cravings for starch and sugary foods. Because those cravings are basically, the root of those cravings are nutrient deficiencies, not habit.
Yeah.
Wrong program. That's I see so many people. If you
yeah.
go out and you go and visit a dietitian and you say, I want to lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And if that dietitian says, just eat less,
Yeah.
run, don't walk.
Yeah, these dietitians giving all this bad advice for
There's
all
no
these years.
scientific background
Yeah.
to what they're talking about.
They're hurting people.
Well, yeah, they're frustrating them. And remember, the less food you eat to a point, the slower your weight loss will be.
Yeah.
And of course, they never talk about that. They just, like magpies, eat less, eat less. And that has very potentially detrimental reasons for that. Cheating. That goes back to non-compliance.
Yeah.
Cheating is a big problem. And
I think people cheat because they feel like they're penalizing themselves. So when they cheat, that's like their little reward.
their little tiny reward
They're
that
not
hopefully
seeing the bigger
nobody
picture.
knows about.
And they're not seeing the big picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I got a bit of good news. On all our weight management programs,
Yep.
not only is cheating permitted, it is required.
Mandatory.
It is mandatory.
Yeah.
So now if I've got your attention, that's a good thing. Because there's a right and a wrong way to cheat. One of the biggest reasons for dietary weight management failure are nutrient deficiencies. We know that the standard American or standard industrialized diet provides less than half of the nutrients you need for optimal wellness.
Yeah.
So now you're going to
And that's if you were eating a really good diet.
Yes, and now you're going to go on a low-calorie diet because some dietitian told you that's the way to do it. And do you think you're going to get more nutrients or less? You're going to get far less because you're eating less.
Yeah.
And those nutrient deficiencies cause metabolic hibernation. Your metabolism slows down to a screaming halt because the body is attempting to conserve energy. It's attempting to last through the famine that you have self-induced.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want when you're trying to lose 30 pounds or 10 pounds or 100 pounds is a sluggish metabolism.
Yeah.
Because that's only going to agonize the situation and make the goal 10 times harder to achieve if you do at all. So nutrient deficiency at our weight loss centers, we absolutely require that all our participants take a good full spectrum multivitamin mineral every day. That's the minimum. And then if your chemistry requires other things like chromium, vanadium, blood sugar sparing nutrients, we add those. And so on and so on. So we can not only build a custom eating program, we can build a custom supplement program that'll help ensure that your body does not go into nutritional hibernation.
Yeah. And so if you stop wasting your time on diets that don't work, then, and you're ready for something like this, attacking weight loss from a scientific perspective, I think this is a really good place to start, especially if you download the Weight Management Revolution or if you're a part of any one of those fitness clubs or gyms or wellness centers. We covered the basics of the program. Now let's talk about someone who can get started. Where do they go first? They take the test, or they're either provided the test at the wellness center or the fitness center. And don't forget to subscribe, like I said, so you don't miss the follow-up videos for this series, because he's going to lay it all out to you, and it's going to make it really easy. And there's, just if you want to stop wasting your time, that would be a good place to start.
Yes.
So the faster ways to lose weight, the Ozempic, the starvation diet, which doesn't always work because, like you said, nutrient deficiency leads to slower metabolism. The slower metabolism leads to holding on to the weight because it thinks you're starving. Where do we, take the test, download the book, the test on healthyinformation.com. Both links will be either below this video or above this video. And let's talk about some of the things that are sabotaging your weight loss, and learning how to take care of them and cutting them out completely. Like the psychology of weight loss, addiction, emotional eating, stress, lack of motivation. Talk a
all
little
of
bit
the
about
above.
that. Yeah, all of the above.
It's an interesting thing. We are a species that crave immediate gratification.
Yeah.
So therefore, any program that causes you to lose weight fast got to be good.
No.
And that's why these drugs that are out there now, these designer drugs, are so popular. Because you hear people say, "Oh, I started taking this and the weight is just falling off."
Yeah.
Here's something you need to remember, folks, because it's going to come back to bite you in the behind eventually. The faster you lose weight, by any means, drugs, starvation, any means you choose, the faster you lose weight, the faster and the greater likelihood you will regain it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because the metabolism is in a state of what we call rebound. And you lose weight too fast, body chemistry sees it as starvation, and as soon as you go off that program, whatever it may be, and eventually you'll go off it. Most people don't decide to diet for life.
Yeah.
You're going to find that weight just piles back on again because your body's trying to save you from death by starvation. And the psychology of weight loss is we all are looking for motivation. I'm looking for motivation to clean the closet, to clean the garage, to cut the grass. We're all looking for motivation. And we oftentimes get frustrated and almost sometimes bewildered by the fact that motivation seems so hard to find. And there's a reason for that, because motivation in and of itself does not exist. Motivation is the end result of something much bigger. And that something that's bigger is desire.
Desire.
If you have a genuine desire to do something, motivation will follow.
Yeah.
If you don't have a real desire, and that's how we started this discussion today, if you don't have that real desire, stay fat. because you likely will not succeed, because without the desire, you won't find the motivation. And these are all psychological things that we go into very carefully in the book, because we are great self-sabotagers, we humans. We can find an excuse to not do something. We can find excuses to do something at the drop of a hat. And when it comes to weight management, one of the biggest psychological things is, I just can't deal with dieting for years. Well, if you're thinking about that, and that might be a possibility, it's because you're doing it wrong to begin with. Our philosophy with weight management is slow, steady, go.
Yeah.
Because, again, as I mentioned, you lose it too fast, you got a problem. You lose it too slow, you get bored, you get frustrated, and you go out to fast food restaurants. So we want to put you somewhere in the middle between those two extremes, and that way we can achieve permanent weight loss without you regaining it. When you lost your 60 pounds, what was that, 6, 8, 10 years ago? I don't remember now.
Yeah.
But you have never gained a pound back.
Nope.
Because we did it right.
Yeah. But it took between 7 and 9 months, I remember.
Yeah.
But I went at my own pace, and I also probably cheated a couple times during it.
Hopefully.
And probably messed it up. Well, no, I cheated in the bad way, not the good way that you're going to discuss that we're probably going to discuss in the next video.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our fitness centers, that's really a given. Any type of movement is good, right? Any exercise that you're able to do, even if it's just walking a little every day.
Yeah, I mean, needless to say that exercise is important.
Yeah.
But you want to do a combination of cardio or endurance, but you also want to do strength building. And the reason for that is that muscle burns fat. Yeah. So the more muscle you develop, the easier it is for your body down the road, a year, 2 years, 10 years from now, to maintain a healthy body weight, because your muscle uses more energy for fuel than your fat cells.
And there may be somebody watching this who can't do any exercise, who has mobility problems.
Yep, we have dealt with people that were, for whatever wide variety of reasons, pretty much limited to their physical activity, and we were still successful with them.
Very successful. Yep, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. We're currently gathering the success stories from the last 20 years. There's audio, there's video of them, and we're currently gathering them for one big video. We have a couple videos about them. I think there's a couple videos back where there's tons of success stories of all kinds of every different type, calorie sensitive, carb intolerant, the combination of both, all that. So don't forget to subscribe to make sure you don't miss that. And go take the weight management test. It's free. You can do it yourself. You can figure it out right there. It's on healthyinformation.com. You can also join the email list on there to get updates, to get support. They can always email you at askthedoc@healthyinformation.com. And we'll just keep up pumping out the videos on how to maintain your weight loss goals and how to maintain a healthier body weight permanently without dieting forever.
And in this series, I'm going to go into the 4 body types in great detail.
Yeah.
And if you go and take the test, it will make so much more sense to you what we're talking about, because that test covers those 4, and you'll be able to easily identify which category you fall into. And if you do that in advance of the next video release, what we're going to share with you is going to make a whole lot more sense.